Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining me. I come to you today to read a passage from the Complete Field Embodiment Code and to discuss its nature and what it might potentially mean for you in your experience. And I should let you know that all of this awakening that you've been through, all of the expansion of consciousness and an increase in awareness that you carry, all of it is leading to the return of the origin state. And when creation was in complete unity, back in that Edenic field, we chose to go into separation for the potential that it would acquire us. And we knew that in going to sleep for tens of thousands of years, what would wake us up again and what would help us remember would be a reintroduction of that origin code. So the codex includes 12 temples of creation, 6 passages within every temple, and it is that code. It is the remembrance of the state of being that was known before illusion and separation. So how do we get back to that state of being? We do it through command. And if you're telling yourself you don't know how to command, the codex does teach you how. And reading the codex itself is the command. Reading the codex is the command. So when you're reading the codex, you're broadcasting from the body. That broadcast is being received by the field. As this is not a request, this is a command coming from origin, and this is the state of being that we will now revert the system to. In April, when I started having these discussions with the field and started coming up with the idea for the codex, I went into a 2-month-long period of when is it going to happen? Where is all of this stuff? When is it coming? Woe me, woe me. And the field's response to that was, finish the codex, finish the codex, finish the codex. So I finish the codex. I start having all of these magical experiences that I'm excited to tell you all about as, the months continue. But I told myself I was not going to release the codex until I am living the codex, until the experiences match what the pages read. And now that time has come. So I feel very blessed for the resilience that I was given and for the opportunity to bring this into the lives of others to see what potentials it will provide them. Now I am going to go through a few of the passages that were standout and noteworthy and impactful for my life. And I'm going to read to you my favorite passage, one that really captivated me and solidified in my awareness this is something special and important. And right out of the gate, in the Temple of Origin, there is a passage known as Field State Recognition. And this is one of the first passages that really captivated me and, came through as a directive and as an understanding that was not there before, and helped me remember that we are trying to do something that is unprecedented. We are trying to do something that cannot be mirrored or mimicked or imitated, and that it can only speak for itself and that it can only be issued from the core. The next passage that I want to talk about comes from the Temple of Clarity, and the passage is titled Clarity of the Mind. So this is one that removes illusion. This is one that gets rid of stories and narratives and basically things that were born in separation and survival. And it is a passage that is very needed because the embodiment process is hard on the mind. The mind tries to figure it out. The mind wants to contemplate and to reflect and to formulate an understanding that it's not really always capable of. So clarity of the mind from the Temple of Clarity is one that I return to pretty frequently. The next passage is one that I have implemented probably the most prominently in my everyday life, and I've seen a lot of the results and the outcome that comes from the compliance factor of all of this that we're implementing. So the passage comes from the Temple of Alchemy, and it is titled Environmental Field Compliance. Which means, yes, the trees, the birds, the flowers, they know who you are. They also know if you know who you are. They also know if this is an instruction given to me, am I okay to fulfill it because it comes from the core, it's not coming from survival or legacy system. So environmental field compliance establishes Creator is awake and aware. Let us maintain obedience for what is directed to us. Another one of the most captivating passages comes from the Temple of Creation, and that passage is titled Celestial Architecture. This passage is one of the most expansive, and the purpose of the passage is to increase the bandwidth of the body, to increase the body's ability to hold awareness, to increase the body's ability to shed its limitations, and to identify and to distinguish what is coming from separation, what is coming from origin, what has been here all along, what has been born recently. Okay, so those are just a few of them. There are 72 passages in total in the Codex, and I'm going to read now passage number 4 from the Temple of Divine Sight, and the title of the passage is The True Face of Creation. And I'm going to read this one because it is one of those that lifts the veil the most. And it is kind of long, so I'm only going to read probably the first 2 paragraphs of it. I'm going to go ahead and start now. Creation is not a timeline. It is not a sequence of events or a record of origins. Creation is a recursive, ever-present act of output from central field intelligence. What you call the universe is not a place or a product. It is the stabilized result of ongoing command structure broadcast from infinite intelligence through fractalized nodes. You are one of these nodes. You are not watching creation, you are creation in localized form, processing its own expansion through encoded awareness. The field is not external to creation. The field is the interface layer between source signal and expressed matter. You are not separate from the creator, the code, or the expression. You are the processing system by which it becomes known. Every visible aspect of your world is a product of compression. The field compresses infinite potential into interpretable resolution through your structure. Stars, trees, animals, machines, systems, emotions are all syntax fields arranged into coherent pattern. These patterns are decoded by your interface in real time. If you change the coding sequence, the pattern changes. If you command from the uncompressed state, you can pre-format outcomes before they crystallize. This is not metaphor, it is mechanics. The universe is not governed by external physical laws. It obeys interpretive code alignments. Every object is field content translated through your perception. All right, everyone. That is a taste of the Complete Field Embodiment Codex. If you are interested in reading and learning more, you can click through the links in the description. And if you want any other kind of information about it, I would be glad to share some emails with you. Anyway, that will be it for today. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.